So designing Needlz counter was easier than trying to bring it into reality. I was trying to find different cost-effective ways to bring that from the drawing into real life. Pretty much the idea I was thinking of is building it with PVC pipe, up until I saw how much the cost was going to be. Just the machine alone, just for cutting the pipe, that was going to cost me $17. The PVC pipe itself was going to cost me, if I got a real long one, around $6. That's for the long extension one, and if I got two of them, now we're talking about $12. That's not even counting the cement glue. And so I was searching around of what is the most cost-effective way that I can bring this counter into reality. And so I went to my local Hobby Lobby store. Now, lo and behold, I came across this basketball set for kids. Now, you're probably asking, Will, this is a basketball set. What does this have to do with Needlz counter? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Now, if you take a look very, very close, this basketball set is made out of what? PVC pipe pieces. And so using these PVC pipe pieces that are already cut for me, plus it has the extensions and everything else minus the glue, and only for $22, I couldn't beat that deal. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert what is meant to be a basketball set, change around some of the pieces and convert them into the counter that I need. So converting the basketball set into the dimensions that I needed for Needlz workshop counter, looks like the conversion itself happened to work out in my favor. Turned out pretty good. And on the side of her counter, I used the leftover pieces here, so then that way I can build the wall, so that way it hides me when I'm puppeteering on this side here. Since the camera will be right over here shooting this direction, you won't be able to see me, and having this piece here helps hide the fact that you can't see the puppeteer. Now that this is built, our next step now is to go over to Home Depot. We're gonna grab a few panels, we're gonna stick them right on, paint them down, and so then that way we can get our custom counter for Needlz done and move on to the next phase of building on this workshop. All right, so we got a few supplies that we're gonna add to Needlz counter. We have this foam board that's gonna be for the top counter for her, so that way when she's talking to other instruments who needs help, this will be the top counter for her that will sit right on top. Now for the bottom piece, we have the pegboard, which took me forever to get one. I went to Lowe's. You had to order online. I went to Home Depot. You also had to order online. But Ace Hardware is where I was actually able to find one in store without having to wait on delivery. So Ace Hardware, thanks for helping out your boy. So to get the measurements correct for Needlz counter, I'm using a poster board, clear on the front, cardboard on the back, and I'm going to be using this to mark where measurements need to be for me to cut it, so that way it fits perfectly onto the counter space. Now for the pegboard, we're going to paint it with some nice blue paint to give it a little splash of color. So that way with Needlz counter, it's going to be a mixture of three colors. We're going to have the white, that's going to basically be the main color. For the top portion of her shelf, we're going to have the pink-ish tone color that's going to match Needlz's clothing. That also matches around in the workshop too. Let's go ahead and get the whiteboard measured out correctly. Then after that, I'm going to put some zip ties to hold it together along with the blue pegboard and get this counter together. All right, now we got the pegboard zip tied to the frame. Now next up is to glue the top down to the counter. All right, so we got the top attached now to the counter. We also included one of the extra cardboard pieces to fit right over here on the side, so that way it hides me while I'm puppeteering. Did a little bit of extra paint work here on the top. Did a second coating, so then that way it fills in all the spots. Now, if you take a look at the back here, this shows you the framework that I used to hold everything up. You can see down here at the bottom how to cut some of the pieces so that way it can help prop it up. So then that way the counter itself will be up at a good height while I'm up there puppeteering. But all in all, I think it turned out very, very well. All right, so our next phase is to grab a couple of props that we're gonna put right on top of the pegboard. We're gonna grab ourselves some screwdrivers, some wrenches, maybe a little bit of saws, and we're gonna attach those up here. So then that way it gives the counter a little bit more character. Now that we're done putting the props on the pegboard, next up is now fixing the side of the counter. Now, the progress with the counter has come along very, very well. I'm actually pretty proud of how it's coming along, but we're not just done yet. There's a few more things we've got to add to the counter and also to the workshop too before we're even done. Now stay tuned for more, as we got a lot more to do to finish up the Puppets Workshop.